I'm going to break down ICT's latest trade and show you how he uses Goldbach, aka Enigma, to execute all of his strategies. Now this trade was taken by ICT on the 4th of December. Today's the 5th, it's 10 o'clock. I was alerted to this trade because I was on the official Goldbach Discord, and my man Hoppy, okay, he just replied us, who's this? Okay, so my man Hoppy, he posted, oh, this is yesterday, I missed it. So looks like ICT posted a trade yesterday, and he said, give it your best shot, like break down the trade. So I'm like, all right, I just saw this message 4 minutes ago. So I guess it's my job to take a look at the trade and break it down for you before I go to sleep. Now let's have a look at ICT's trade. Okay, so let's write down these levels. What was ICT doing? Take a screenshot first. Okay, and this is the date of the trade. So I've drawn this M1 fair value gap that he had. Let's paste the trade in. Okay, there's his trade with the levels. So his entry was, it's the right time. Yeah, it's 10:30. I can see from the video. So it's right here. Okay. So his entry was 15,817.5, and his stop was 15,830.75. Let's make sure I get this right, because otherwise I'll get comments trolling me for the wrong levels. 15,830. Okay, that was his trade. Now let's load up the indicator. Let's do it from first principles for those who are new on my channel. So I replay price back to the time he executed the trade. The official indicator is called DMN's ICT AMD Goldbach. There we go. And let's tidy it up because we don't need all of this. AMD. My background is black, so let's have the labels in white. Let's have this box on the left so you guys can see it. Bottom left, and let's make it nice and big. There we go. And we know ICT is executing on the M1, and he's very fond of the 27 power of 3, as per my, I think, 3 of the last 4 trades ICT has done that I've analyzed. Now let's fix this dealing box. Okay, now look at this. What do we have here? So this is his execution. Right, he executed right here on this at this price. And what is the price? Exactly 15,817.5 is the fair value gap GB level. 15,817.5, 15,817.5. So it wasn't the M1 because there's no fair value gap in the fair value gap GB level. He probably did something like a 10-second is what I like to use when I'm trading indices sometimes. Let's have a look. Yeah. So there we go. So we're aligning now. So for those who are new on my channel, these lines aren't form fitted. Goldbach is basically the mathematical principles underlying all markets. And via Goldbach, via mathematics, the dealing ranges are predetermined. So for the 27 power of 3, the dealing range will be, the low will be here at this price, the high will be here. And key to that is all of the ICT PD arrays will be formed at these levels. So the rejection block will be here, the order block, fair value gap, liquidity void, so forth. We've got equilibrium here. And let's have a look. Let's have a look at what ICT came in at. So if we can find his execution again. His execution was at 15,817.5, which is exactly where Goldbach predicts the bottom of the fair value gap to be. Okay, where is our fair value gap? Right here. Fair value gap. So it wasn't the biggest fair value gap in the world, but we had a little bit in the fair value gap zone. There's your order block. Not the best body in the world. Let's have a look at the 5 second. Does that give us a little bit more information? Where is the 5 second? That's a little better, right? It's a little clearer. Not the best. Yeah, that's a hippo right there. Hippo is an advanced concept. Okay, now things are making more sense. Now, I don't know for sure whether ICT was executing on the 5 second or the 10 second or the 15 second, but he definitely came in at the fair value gap GB level, which is here. Now, unfortunately, my line has moved a little bit, but that's where he executed. So that's where he wanted to come in, where Goldbach predicts the fair value gap, the bottom of the fair value gap to be. Now, if we look at the 5 second time frame, what do we have? We have an order block. In the order block GB level, we have our fair value gap. Okay. Now, Goldbach says the fair value gap will be from here to here somewhere. So you got your fair value gap. Now, critically, what do we have here? This is called a hippo. A hippo is when you have two candles that have wicks of the same size at a GB level. So the GB level is the fair value gap. So it's off by a touch. I don't even know if that price would be different. No, the price is the same. You see, 15,817.5, and even where these two candles meet is still 15,817.5. Now, ideally, you want your hippo to have wicks that are a power of 3 number, something like 3, 9, 27. Let's measure them. So ideally, you want them to be a power of 3 number, but we're looking at the 10 second now, so let's see what we can get. 2. So we wanted them to be ideally 3. Okay. We want it to be 3 ticks wide, but it's 2, and this one is also 2. So it's a hippo, not the strongest hippo in the world, but this ultimately acts as some kind of resistance, right? Where price doesn't necessarily want to go past this hippo. So what do we have? We have ICT coming in at the bottom of the fair value gap GB level. You have a hippo here acting as resistance. It did not go higher than the hippo, you see? It rejected from the hippo. He then executed, and then price tanked. Now he took partials on the way down. Let's see if I can find it. So he executed for the first time, and then as price came back into that close to that fair value gap, he placed a market order again. His stop, let's have a look at his stop. His stop loss, 15,830. Why is he moving his stop? Let's have a look again. 15,830.75. So he's got quite a wide stop. So he's got his stop way above the extension. I wouldn't have put my stop up there. I'd maybe put it here. But I guess he wanted to be super careful and not to get stopped out, because I think there was news imminent. Okay, so he could have easily put the stop there and he should have been safe. And I think he moved his stop down after price started falling. So he took partials on the way down. Let's have a look. Where did he take his first partial? 15,763.5. 763. Okay. Let's look at the dealing range below. So once price gets below the low, the next dealing range will be from this, which will now be the high, down another 27 ticks. But we can just ask the indicator and say, what is the dealing range below this? So he came off. He basically did a full dealing range down. Or he may have just used liquidity. I can't see from the chart. Maybe he just came off at different areas of liquidity. Okay, he's marked out some kind of fair value gap here. What is that? 1 minute or 1 hour. So there's a 1 hour fair value gap he's marked out. Marked out 1 hour fair value gap. I'm assuming he's going to split it into quarters or something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so he just split it into quarters. And then maybe he came off at liquidity levels as well. So he didn't use any mirroring, which is an advanced concept that's in the Discord. So you can use mirroring to project from, if we're going to move from one dealing range to another, where we would come off. But that's basically his trade. So to recap, he came in exactly... He came in exactly at the fair value gap GB level, the bottom of it. There you go. So he came in exactly there. He saw the order block. He saw a fair value gap. And this is a liquidity void. So you expect price to dump on a liquidity void as well. So this is his fair value gap level. That's where he came in. I wonder if he used a different time frame. Even the 10-second has a big fair value gap, you see? Yeah, so there's a big fair value gap, went from the fair value gap level to the liquidity void level. And he just waited for it to retrace to where the lowest part of the fair value gap is. And that's where he executed. And then he took partials on the way down. So once again, this is the 5th trade in a row, I think, that ICT has executed on indices, and I have broken it down and showed you how he uses Goldbach on one of his other screens to execute these trades. Now remember what ICT says. Sometimes you have to listen carefully to what someone's saying and then think about the intent. The number of times he says, oh, I don't have any lipstick on my charts. I don't have any lipstick on my charts. But he does say he writes down his institutional levels on a notepad. Right? What is he talking about by institutional levels? If he's talking about whole numbers, then you can remember the whole numbers. But if he's got an Excel sheet and he's calculating the power of 3 dealing ranges and where the PDAs will be, then these are the levels that I would care about. And as ICT keeps Enigma secret, this is why he doesn't mark them on his chart. And he doesn't have his Excel sheet on his chart. So before this indicator came out, I literally had an Excel sheet, and I would link Excel to the spot price of the asset that I was trading, so it would update in real time. And then it would calculate the dealing ranges for me and all the PD arrays. Fortunately, DMN has created this beautiful indicator, so I don't have to mess around doing that kind of stuff anymore. But that's how we did the trade. So let's let everyone know. Will upload shortly. So if you would like to really understand Goldbach and how the trading algorithm works, then there's a link to the official book in the description to this video, and then by purchasing the book you get access to the Discord where the advanced teachings are and all the cutting edge stuff that Hoppy is bringing to the forefront. So Hoppy is the guy who discovered Goldbach, and let me find you his Twitter. Okay, so this is Hoppy on Twitter. And this is me, Aircam Trader. So feel free to give us both a follow. I post trade breakdowns and extra gems on my feed. So I have one of my last trades that I did, one of the last trades that I took. You see how it hit the my entry exactly. What else do I have? Oh, this is a funny one. This is how we all feel as ICT traders, right? It's tough watching those thousands of hours of videos, but as soon as you discover Goldbach, everything kind of makes sense. So that's how I feel, and that's how us Goldbach traders feel now. Anyway, if you would like me to break down any more of ICT's trades, give me a shout. I ideally want to go through all of ICT's trades for his 2023 mentorship and then break them down for you. But I need a little bit of help. What I'm having trouble is, because the contracts have expired, I found a way to bring up the contracts. So for example, I've got the March contracts for NASDAQ, but ICT's executions are on the 1 minute. Now, even though I've got the premium version, I've got the market data, I can't get down to the 1 minute. It doesn't give me 1 minute data. So if you guys can let me know in the comments how I can get this 1 minute data within TradingView. I don't necessarily want to use FX Replay. I've used it before, but I don't want to use FX Replay right now. If you can let me know how I can get the data for all contracts on the 1 minute, I can then break down every single one of ICT's trades. And essentially, I guess what I want to do is show you a shortcut on how ICT really trades, and then show you how you use the GB levels to get the accurate entries and exits. So if you can help me with that, that'll be awesome. Otherwise, give Hoppy a follow on Twitter. You won't regret it. And feel free to follow me if you want as well. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess I will break down ICT's next video when he does it.